Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Oh La La France. Today I'm here to talk to you about my experience with one of the most dreaded exams for expatriates in France. The famous, drumroll please, Code de la Route. So fortunately, I passed this exam in first go, dans le premier coup, as they say in French. So I just wanted to share my experiences with you. So I'm just going to give you a little tips and tricks so that you can increase the probability of passing this exam by preparing for 2 months. So first of all, I cannot stress enough that no matter how you go about it through an auto-école or by being a candidat libre, it's extremely important to read the book at least 2 times. Okay, so I had 2 books with me. One was this Code de la Route Rousseau, when I had decided to appear for this exam as candidat libre, but then I discovered that I don't have enough motivation or enough guidance to kind of push me. So I joined an auto-école and they gave me this book. By the way, auto-école Joris is really nice. I live in Grenoble, so if you are from Grenoble, I highly recommend it to you. So what I did was read this book for 2 weeks. It took me 2 weeks for the first reading because even though I spoke French, French for daily use, there are a lot of words with the context of driving specifically that one doesn't use every day. For example, highlight the words that you don't know, make a list of them as you are reading the book along with the meaning if possible, so that you always have that kind of dictionary with you as you go along, right? Then what you can do is follow a specific software of your choice. I would highly recommend Code Rousseau. It's created by the same guys who have published this book, Code Rousseau. It's a good software. So once you read this book once and you understand it, at least superficially, you can start solving tests immediately so that you can judge, where you are with respect to the areas of weakness or the faults, the maximum fault areas, and the software will give you this information automatically. Like for example, here I'm attaching it in the video. You can see, it's giving me statistics based on the last 5 tests that I've solved. And then use those statistics to improve yourself. For example, if you're scoring less in eco-conduit, go back and read that section again in the book. And then side by side, start making notes specific to the following topics. Because the first one is the effect of l'alcool et les stupéfiants. What happens when you consume alcohol? How much alcohol each glass of beer or wine contains? How much time it takes to eliminate, let's say, 0.2 grams par litre de sang d'alcohol? Is it dependent on the sex, on the weight? What is the organ that helps you, like for example, liver helps you eliminate alcohol the most? The second important thing is the infractions that you will commit while driving. Il y a 2 types d'infractions que vous pouvez commettre, soit les délits, soit les contraventions. So the amende associated with that, the fees, the type of infraction, if it's première catégorie, deuxième catégorie, troisième, how many points you will lose, if there's a chance of your vehicle being confiscated or immobilized if you commit that infraction, and so on and so forth. And focus the most on Delhi and the infractions that will make you lose 6 points of your permis. Limite de vitesse for an experienced conductor and for a jeune conductor, like the one who's giving an exam. So memorize these. Next thing, different lights that you have to use in different situations. For example, when it's raining, you have to use feu de croisement. You can also use feu de brouillard avant, mais jamais feu de brouillard arrière, because that can be éblouissant for the driver behind you. So what combinations of light you can use in which different situations? After that, the priorities. When you're at the rond-point without the sign of céder le passage, or if you're just on the normal route without having any priority specified on the route where you are, there is always priorité à droite. But if you are en un sens giratoire avec le panneau céder le passage, la priorité c'est à gauche. So you know how the priority changes. Another important point is le premier secours, très très important. What are some of the things that you have to compulsorily carry in your vehicle, right? Or what 3 documents you always have to carry on you, like permis de conduire, le carte grise, or certificat d'assurance. So those 3 are the most important documents that you always have to present and carry on yourself. Also, contrôle technique. How often you have to get your vehicle checked to verify if all the technical things are working in harmony or not. How the transmission functions. How the brake functions, suspension, you know, the ressort amortisseur. Then specifically with respect to the pressure of the tires, they will show you, like for example, an image of a burst tire, and they will ask you, okay, what was the reason? It can be parallelism, it can be you know, that the sous-pression is going to result in the burst tire. But again, I'm going in too many details. Then of course, very evident, panneau routier, panneau routier, les différents symboles dans la voiture, par exemple, l'huile de moteur. S'il y a un problème avec la température d'engin, s'il y a un problème avec liquide de frein, s'il y a un problème avec liquide de refroidissement. So different cases, they will normally ask you a question based on distance d'arrêt, which consists of, you know, temps de réaction plus distance de freinage. Then they will ask you a question on distance de sécurité, different indications to calculate distance de sécurité. For example, on the autoroute, those 2 huge bands for voie d'urgence, or in the tunnel, those blue diodes. So, you know, all these points you have to really, really like imprint on your brain, because there's no other way but to memorize them, unfortunately. And also, pourcent représenté dans les tués. Par exemple, combien de personnes les cyclistes représentent pour les personnes tuées dans les accidents mortels? So the response is 5%, right? And it has nothing to do with the code de la route or the risks involved while driving. But yes, there are questions like that. How many percent piétons represent? 15% amongst the tués dans les accidents mortels. So very specific numbers like that. Make sure that you note them down on a piece of paper and memorize them. So that will take you another, you know, month to kind of figure it all out and go through all of it several times. And by then you would have already solved, let's say, you know, 30 tests. Okay. Now the point comes when you switch from the mode pédagogique to mode d'examen, and then you just solve the exams like, you know, there's no tomorrow. You solve them every day, as many hours as possible, and you go through the wrong answers and make sure you understand, like, what was it that made you go wrong. Note it down. Make sure that you don't make the same mistake twice. Okay, so so that will be something that we'll cover during the last 15 days of the time period of 2 months. And then you know, once you start consistently scoring above, I would say 33, give it a shot, you know, because in the end my range was like 33 to 38, and normally the driving schools will recommend you that, you know, don't pass the exam before crossing 35 consistently. But I was very impatient. I just wanted to go and try it out, just for, you know, understanding comment ça déroule, to decrease the amount of stress on me just by imagining the different kind of situations that may take place on the day of the exam. So to kind of eliminate that stress that could have happened, I just, you know, took a chance. I went for it. Thankfully I scored exactly 35, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. You score 35 or 40. The result is going to be soit favorable, soit défavorable. So just, I would say, just go for it once you start consistently getting above 33. And voila. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I will answer each and every one of them. Et du coup, si vous avez aimé cette vidéo, s'il vous plaît, abonnez-vous à ma chaîne YouTube. Please leave a like and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for your time et à bientôt!